Ladies and gentlemen, we have many ArcGIS updates have shown you this morning till now. Here we're going to share with you our top 11 favorites. Let's begin with number 11.
Our favorite number 11 is raster functions. In this demo, I would like to investigate the changes in vegetation in my study area. Here, I have two multispectral Landsat 8 images from two time periods. Notice that there is a slight difference in these two raster images. Now, I want to identify land use and land cover change for this raster. I'm using the tools from the imagery tab along with some raster functions to create a change or no change image. Begins by creating a remote sensing index and DVI to use as input into the minus raster function. I then chain the raster functions to create a generalized function chain. And the resulting difference image is then highlighted in red to identify areas of change. Next is number 10.
Number 10, clustering. Sometimes you might have a data set that is too dense and overlapping each other, making it difficult to see a clear pattern. So in this situation, you can use clustering. So let's take an example here. I have a data set of hospital and medical facilities across Malaysia. So this data set is part of the here map data set. So suppose the government is planning on building more of these. So we'd like to know which area has less. So looking at the current map, it's a bit difficult to pinpoint a certain situation or location. If I were to use the clustering, I could get something like this. So you could start to see a pattern where all the facilities have been grouped together. The larger ones here would represent more of these facilities, and the smaller ones would represent less. Furthermore, clicking on one of these clusters, you get some information. So you can easily edit this information here by keying your own text. You can even set the cluster to be less or even more. Moving on to number 9.
Our top 9 favorite is call out in Scene Viewer. So this is an update June 2017 of ArcGIS Online. In Scene Viewer, creating interesting visualization of data in your 3D scene is perhaps the most important aspect of getting your message across to your audience. It's hard to visualize the POI of bank facilities from your dataset like this in 3D view. The bank facility can be displayed more effectively by displaying it above building or terrain using the new relative to scene elevation mode like this. In addition, call out have been added in this scene to improve perspective, to better visualize and understand point and level of bank facilities in KL city area. Move to number 8.
Moving over to Jalantar, let's check out our favorite number 8. The Autogeo reference tool is one of several new imagery enhancements in Pro. Adding in an older aerial image of the building, I can clearly see there is a misalignment. When I run the tool, the system will create control points from the unreferenced raster to the partially referenced raster layer and then transform the image to a proper position. Upon completion, a quick swipe to the image reveals that it was placed correctly on the map. Let's move to number 7.
Number 7 is the ArcGIS Enterprise Builder. With ArcGIS Enterprise, there is a new method of installation. The ArcGIS Enterprise Builder helps you to perform a base deployment of the ArcGIS Enterprise within 30 to 60 minutes, compared to the previous way that takes a couple of hours to complete. So you'll be presented with a wizard-based installation, and upon finishing this, you'll be taken to the initial configuration page. Now from here, you can even track the status of each of your deployment, and finally, you'll be given to the link of your fully configured portal and your server manager. Next is number 6.
Number 6, our favorite is 3D editing and on-screen navigation in ArcGIS Pro. Here is a 3D scene of a KLCC tower and other buildings with the 3 features. Now, what I need to do is to propose a new building near to KLCC tower. ArcGIS Pro Scene 1.4 enable us to do multi-page editing. I can have a new building multi-page feature, and I can start draw the building footprints, and then I extrude this footprint in this scene. In addition to that, in ArcGIS Pro 2.0, you can have a new navigation tool called Navigator. This Navigator tool allows you to do on-screen navigation. Next is number 5.
Now, it is easy to create a survey with Survey 123 through the enhancements of Web Designer. Instead of create a survey using Survey 123 Connect, now you have an option to create a survey using the Web Designer. With these updates, when you click on the Design button, you can add, delete, or update existing surveys even when people have published the data. While it is not ideal to update the surveys once they have been published and shared, well, we all make mistakes. So this option is quite handy. So here is the result. Next is number 4.
Number 4 is the Architectspression. Suppose you wanted to symbolize a value, which is not part of the attribute field. You can use this tool. Now, I have a data set of emergency shelters. So as we look at the attribute table, I have a field of total capacity and current occupancy. But what if I wanted to symbolize the current occupancy at a certain percentage instead of an actual value? If I were to use the expression, I would get something like this. So I could define a symbology at 0% occupancy, another symbology at below 50% occupancy, and so on and so forth. So if we look at the settings, I can write a simple script. I started off by doing a simple calculation to get the percentage, and if it falls at 0%, I'll return the word 0% occupancy, and if it's below 50%, I'll return the word below 50% occupancy, and so on and so forth. So basically, you can define different symbologies to these conditions. Moving on to number 3.
The number 3 on our list is all about data exploration with the new charting tool. Here is the box plot showing the distribution of total population in Peninsular Malaysia. The data that I'm using is from the Department of Statistics, Malaysia. If you notice, the charts use the same symbolization that I have applied to my data, showing the 13 states in Peninsular Malaysia, including Kuala Lumpur and Putrajaya Federal Territory. It looks like Kuala Lumpur has the highest median value and the highest distribution. The second chart I have here is about the comparison of total household by districts. Using the second chart, we can look further in depth of the distribution of population and see the relation with the total household. But the magic happens when I link my 2 charts together. Now, whenever I click on my box plot, it will automatically update my bar chart and update the information on the map. Let's move to number 2.
Number 2 is the dashboard theme. Now, creating an application has never been easier using the web app builder. The new addition to it is the dashboard theme. So previously, if you wanted to create a dashboard, you would need to use the Operation Dashboard application. But now, you can do it straight away from here. So as you can see here, I've done a simple dashboard. Surrounding these maps, these boxes are called panels. Now, you can insert widgets to them. Furthermore, you can even resize these panels on the go. If you wanted a larger view, you can even maximize these panels. So in creating this dashboard, you can select the dashboard theme from the theme tabs and you can even modify the layouts. So you can drag in more panels, you can position them, you can resize them to your liking, and save it as your default layout. Moving to number 1.
Our final countdown in top 1 favorite is portal collaboration. Many organizations have set up their portal and plan to share geospatial content among organizations. ArcGIS Enterprise 10.5 enable us to do it. For example here, Transportation Department as hosts that create collaboration in their portal. Then they invite Public Work Department to participate in the collaboration. With distributed collaboration, you can connect and integrate your GIS across the network of participants. And ArcGIS Enterprise 10.5.1 include those with membership in ArcGIS Online and ArcGIS Enterprise. So this collaboration is based on a foundation of trust and driven by common goal or initiative. Once you establish a trusted collaboration among collaboration participants, you are able to share content as you would with a single GIS to distribute across the network of organization. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move to the next interesting sessions. My colleague will show you what you did not know about ArcGIS platform. So please welcome Wan Hamizi, Wan Firdaus, and Elvin Ko on the stage.
Thank you, Azlina. Now, most of us use ArcGIS technology and we know it really well. But there is always a room for discovery, for finding those hidden little gems that we didn't know about. And that's what we would like to focus on this evening. And that is why we call this session, Did You Know? So this is ArcGIS Pro. What you see on the right side of the screen here is a geoprocessing toolbar that has a set of tools for you to process geographic and related data. So these are the list of tools that we use every day. For example, you fill in all the parameters and click Run to start geoprocessing and get the result right away. But sometimes you wonder, can you actually run another tool first without losing all the parameters that you have already filled in? Well, did you know if you already have opened and filled in all the parameters for a geoprocessing tool, but you want to go back and run the other one first, you can always click on the hamburger button from the geoprocessing window and select another tool. So this will actually allow you to open a different tool at the same time so that you will not lose all the parameters that you have already filled in. Thank you.
In ArcGIS Online, when we search for a location, normally you will see a list of similar names listed down from the toolbar. For this example, let's go for Senai. As you can see on the screen, you will see a list of locations with a similar name. Do you know that in ArcGIS Online, you can actually limit the search within the boundary that you can set? In these steps, there are a few steps you can do. Very simple. First, you go to Content, you click on the Create, and select the Locator view. In the Locator view, you name the new locator, and you tag it, and then you save it within the folder. After you save it, in the locator setting, you can have an option to choose the type of location that you want to search, whether it is an address, coordinate, or places of interest. In this example, I will go for place of interest. And of course, the most important, select the country. And in this example, I will go for Malaysia. Once you save it, there's one final step which is very important. You need to go to Organizations, edit the settings, and add the locator that you have created. And remember to remove the one that you do not wish to. And after you save it, when you go to Senai, for example, you will only see within Malaysia only.
Okay. All right. You see, I have been getting a lot of requests from a lot of you. How can we do vehicle tracking in using ArcGIS? But did you know we can now do people tracking using Workforce for ArcGIS? Let me actually show you in 3 simple steps. So the step 1, you define an assignment type. Step 2, you select in the users that you want to track and add it in here. And step 3, just remember to turn on the location tracking. And when this is done, I can now see exactly where my team members are on this map. And because this is a web map, I can have access to this information using my desktop, using my tablet, or even using my phone. This is something that I believe everybody, each and every one of you can do this. All you need is a workforce for ArcGIS with either ArcGIS Online or Portal for ArcGIS. Staff tracking is very important, not only to monitor where are your team members in real time, but also helps you to react should anything happens to them at site. Thank you.
Did you know that one of the most popular enhancements in the past year is smart mapping? Well, smart mapping allows you to quickly and easily explore and visualize your data with beautiful color ramps and smart breakpoints. But that was in 2D. Did you know that you can also style your point cloud scene layers with ArcGIS Online Scene Viewer? So with point cloud scene layer, you can visualize big amounts of 3D data showing a variety of features. So with this easy-to-use user interface and interactive drawing options, you can now visualize and analyze your point cloud data. You can view, for example, this is true color. If you want to display your point cloud scene layer based on the actual colors of your point clouds, you can see the true color of buildings, trees, and streets. If, let's say, you want to view your point cloud as classes, you can also assign a specific color to unique class code values in your point clouds, such as ground, building, vegetation, and water. Lastly, let's say you want to emphasize the height differences in your point cloud layer, you can use the elevation style layer so that you can quickly see the lower and the higher areas in elevation based on the color. So basically, all of these drawing style control the data and attributes in your point cloud data, which allows you to create some compelling point cloud visualization. So as you can see, with just a few simple changes, we can make this scene even more meaningful using smart mapping with point cloud layers. Thank you.
Okay, what you are seeing here is actually an example of Python script. Nobody knows what it does except for my friend Min Ken. Unfortunately, he's not here in this very room, so tak apa. But it doesn't mean that each and every one of you cannot do scripting or coding. So let me actually introduce you that did you know you can do this using ArcGIS API for Python, where we can now do this on a Jupyter notebook. So what I'm showing you here is actually an environment that lets you to code a line and immediately get results after that. So it's an environment that you can actually do coding in a much more interactive manner. So let me give you an example, a very simple example. So I can write a simple line of code to get a map of Petaling Jaya. And I can write another simple line of code to search for contents from my portal and add them into this map. And this is basically a shopping malls in Petaling Jaya. And I can even do perform spatial analysis like drive time and then add them to this map. This very simple example may be simple to you, but it's a way that I find this capability very fascinating. And for once, I don't feel coding is that boring. So with this Python API and then Jupyter Notebook, it will help you not to shy away from doing the coding, but also you can actually do this very interactively. Thank you.
Most of the time, when we create the infographic widgets using the web app builder, we are forced to use the preset colors. For this example, let's say I have actually coded the colors using our layer symbology with purple, green, and yellow representing different districts. So what if I want to use the color? Do you know now within the new infographic widgets allow you to use the layer symbology according to your flavor? Here's how you do it. First, you go to widgets, you select the infographic, choose the chart that you want, and use the layer. And in the chart setting, I select the display mode that I want to and categorize it under a zone. And you can see that it's actually showing the preset color. Now, in order to change it, you go to display, click on the layer symbology. When you press OK, the color actually is following your layers. Thank you.
Okay. Did you know that we have an app and it is called an Explorer for ArcGIS? So what we have done with this app in this current release is that we have gone through great lengths so that you can have the best possible end user experience using a tablet device. And this is what I'm talking about here. So this is a map containing a parcel information in Palm Springs, California. I want you to actually notice this. The moment I pinch, the moment I pan, and the moment I rotate the map. And you would see that the rendering of this map is not only interactive, but also very seamless. And I can also do a search parcel. I can have an attribute information from this. I can have information about the soil. I can also have the information about the property value, including the attachment. And that is very great. But the big deal about this application at this release is our ability to support sketching. So let me actually do a very simple sketching. Okay, I want to highlight this area so that, I want to do tree cutting. And then I want to add, come to add a request to set several lighting into this area. And one more possibly, somewhere over there. So once I'm done with this, right, I can immediately share this as possibly screenshot and share this as an email to my colleagues at the office. So this is a kind of app that I believe that you should try and experience it, because I truly believe that each and every one of you can benefit from this. From the field collector all the way to a policymaker that really make use of the tablets on the go. And best of all, this is actually a free app that doesn't really require login. And there you go. Those are the list of tips and tricks that we have here that you can immediately implement in your organization fairly easily. Thank you very much. Okay. I'm busy. Thank you.
So amazing, right? So let me share with you the road ahead for our ArcGIS platform. So the road ahead for ArcGIS technology is rich. We will continue updating our software. So every 6 months, there's always going to be a new release. So last year, we released the 10.5, Pro 1.4. And even this year, we released 10.5.1 and Pro 2.0. So you see the pattern. Big data, real time, 3D. Everything that we have shown with you today are available for you, all for you. Tools that we can use, all the exciting tools to make better decision, smarter decision, and for a more efficient organization. Thank you very much.